Hello, and welcome to the Show Me How podcast. I'm John Skuras.
And I'm Stephanie Weber.
And we're here for our episode 15.
Wow. Can you believe it?
So we're very excited to take you through the Show Me How, See Through the Zestimate is the title of this one, Stephanie.
Zestimate.
Very nice little tingy
thing. What is a Zestimate?
Zestimate is an estimate through one of the technological portals that we currently use today. In this case, Zillow. So you know how everyone goes out there and they get on the internet and they take a look and they're like, "Oh, my house is worth $2 million.
Let's sell."
Or it's only worth $300,000, depending on what you're looking at. So we're going to take you through the realities of these estimate services. Mm-hmm. We're going to focus on home valuations, automated valuation models, which is what a company like Zillow uses.
Exactly.
That's where they come with their Zestimate, and off-market listings to give us kind of a broader understanding of how to come up with a valuation. So
right, especially in this market when everything is overinflated and people are thinking, if they go on these models, that, oh my God, like you said, my house is worth $1 million, and you know,
or not, right?
Or not.
They go high or low, but we're going to give you the ins and outs of why these services are good and where they can be used best, and where they probably don't work so well.
Right.
And, you know, this is going to be a good episode for home buyers, sellers of the market as well.
Exactly.
And what else? Well, I guess buyers, you know, we'll get into it, but when I think of estimates, I think of low valuations, right?
Well, not really. Sometimes they have higher valuations. Like in our model, like we talked about in this one, the Zillow estimate was $750,000, and the agent said $690,000. And then your cousin Larry said 1.1 million. Cousin Dean. You know, who's right? And I think looking at it, I think probably of all those three, I'd say the agent probably has the best information. And the reason is because they pull from a lot of different current sources.
When you say three, you mean your cousin Larry versus
your cousin
Zillow
Larry versus Zillow versus your agent. Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, the agent's going to have multiple resources at their fingertips. Right. If they're a good agent, they're going to be kind of doing a comparative market analysis for you. They'll be pulling up data from multiple different sources.
Exactly.
Or not really. I guess it is sources, right?
It's
the tax records. It's the sold. It's the pending.
Contingent.
And it's the contingent as
right.
well.
And it's also stuff that's on the market, too. They have to look at that. So.
And we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, when you are doing these estimates, you're going to have to give some direction to the broker, because you want to, or at least understand from that broker, what resources did they use to pull this from, right?
Exactly.
Because they may not include the private listing network. You have to, in my case, I'm a commercial broker, so when I go to MLS, well, at Sotheby's and I think Jameson Commercial, where I work, you know, you're using the MLS, but I understand it's different at Compass. Is that right?
Well, we have our own platform that pulls from the MLS, though.
Okay.
So we do use the MLS, and I use it for like listing sheets and I'm pulling stuff. But you can also use the Compass platform, which encompasses.
Oh, no pun intended.
Ooh, no pun intended. All those different networks, and you could go in and you can to manipulate it.
Right.
You know, not manipulate, but pull the data.
So we'll also show you what an automated valuation model is, why it's often wrong, and how professional agents, investors determine value with comparative market analysis, or CMA,
right?
Appraisals, and off-market data, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right,
and
cool.
like the Zestimate is Zillow's form of the automated valuation model, and it pulls from the tax records, past sales, square footage to produce a quick evaluation, but it doesn't really take into account any of the things that we were talking about before we got on the air. It was, you know, the upgrades, the, you know,
layout quirks, like a
or
weird bathroom placed in some strange place, or
right.
Or you know what I see a lot nowadays, the open floor plan.
Yes.
You know, people like that, so they're going to pay more for it.
Right.
Right. So things like this aren't accounted for in the Zillow estimates.
Not at all.
Not even CMA, really. I mean, you can get a little more granular, but it really takes kind of the personal touch, I think, in a lot of these cases, right? Because it depends on ultimately what the buyer or the buyer really wants.
Right.
That's going to add a little flair or takeaway, depending on what the situation is, right?
Right, like you said, a new bungalow with a new kitchen, new roof, premium finishes up on Zestimate, they assume are average, right? They're not like anything great, nothing. It's like every other bungalow in the city.
Well, it just takes, like, if there's 100 houses in the 60614 single family homes, right?
Right.
60614, and you look up by zip code. Well, they're just going to, okay, this one was 400, that one was 100, this one's 250. They're just going to go to a mathematical average, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get any reality. They're not looking at the upgraded homes. Now, this is where people, brokers can really add value too, though, right? Because if you're listing your home and you have, a not so great kitchen or a really beautiful kitchen that was 70 grand, in a CMA tool that I've seen in the MLS and I've used, you can add pluses and minuses to different rooms.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even parking spaces.
Right.
Right. Especially in places where there's very stringent parking, South Loop, I think of a lot.
Wrigleyville,
things like that. You had a parking space that could be $40,000 to $70,000 depending on where you are.
Exactly. And the estimates shape the seller's expectations.
Easy for you to say.
What?
What? Huh? Easy for you to say.
And also that influences the buyers, because the buyers, if it's low and it's come in low based on just the evaluation of an area,
right,
then they're going to be like, well, I'm not offering that. But,
yeah, I know. And by the way, that's just all you brokers out there. That's your job to help your buyer understand reality. You can't have your buyer coming in, oh, that's, over based on the average. You got to educate your buyers. That's what our job is, right?
Right.
As a realtor and I'm more of a consultant than most brokers. You are too. Mm-hmm. We got to give them some guidance and advice on, here's why you're going to pay more.
Or
don't be looking at Zillow Zestimates and coming in here and saying, oh, I want to be around there. And by the way, for selling brokers, if it's high or they come up with some high price, when brokers try and appease a seller and say that we're going to, oh, yeah, I have a customer now. He wants way too much money for his space. And I got him a decent offer. He's like, well, I want more. I'm like, he wants $600,000 for this rundown property. We're just talking about it in general.
Right.
So this buyer who's interested in it says, look at this property. This is right down the street, 2 blocks away. Mm-hmm. It's like a beautiful gray stone, and it's all remodeled in and out, $300,000 in remodel. It's $675,000. But the customer I'm working with wants to sell his for $600,000. It's a rundown, tear down at best, maybe.
Right.
It's not worth $420,000, $450,000 maybe.
And where did he get his $600,000?
From his head. I mean, literally.
Right.
Well, Uncle Larry or Uncle Dean.
Oh.
Uncle Larry came along and told him he's going to get $600,000 for this really property alone valuation. Or people just get it in their head, They have some estimate of what they want to retire on.
Right.
And this building's going to be their retirement.
Right. I had a client that my first sale a couple years ago after joining Compass, and I didn't know that they owed $300,000 because they had taken all the equity out of the house.
Yeah.
So I'm listing it. I'm getting offers like $275,000, which was great because it was like a teeny house. And they're like, no, we can't cover our costs at that.
Yeah.
So there's other things that
well, that's
involved.
an experience.
Right. So there's
so you learned quickly on that one.
Yeah.
You got to ask that up front. What's your debt?
Yeah.
Immediately.
And even though it was their mother's house,
by the way,
took
that's
the money out of it.
Right. You got to ask that up front. But also, that's a leverage component. So if you know somebody's in debt, if I'm buying a house, I'm asking, what debt are they in?
Right.
How much do they owe? Do they have any note on the property?
Yeah.
Because if they do, that's a leverage component. It's also a consideration to your situation. Exactly. It's like, well, I know that they have $180,000 in debt. I'm not willing to pay more than $250,000 for this property. There's a tight margin here. Why are they even bothering selling the house?
Right. Well, they didn't want it. They lived in a far west suburb, and they didn't want to commute and be a landlord anymore.
Remember our buddy Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember he wanted to, I want to buy a new building. And I'm like, okay, so how do you plan on doing that? He's like, well, the value of my building. I'm like, your building isn't worth what you think it's worth. And do you have cash? no, but I want to buy this other building. I'm like, well,
You don't have anything. Yeah, you can't.
you have no value and
No income.
there's no income. You're not going to be able to get it.
No.
So, people come up and they're like, oh, I want to sell my building. I want to move. Okay. Do you have any money? I mean, because you're not going to get any from selling this building.
Right. Because you owe too much.
It's only worth $250 in your model. You owe $185. You're going to pay $20,000 in fees.
Right.
You're going to come away with $20,000, right?
Right. And nowhere to live.
And nowhere to live.
Right. So it's not like you said, in these automated evaluation models use, regression models to estimate the property's value, which analyzes a large database. It doesn't look
tax
at
records, recent sales, square footage, lot size.
In Chicago, it actually is block by block.
Well, it could be.
It could be.
In certain areas, it's definitely block by block. There are segments of neighborhoods like Avondale and Logan Square.
Look at the street Bissell in.
Oh yeah.
No,
for sure there's places.
There's like that 3-block Bissell
from Armitage to North Avenue.
Yeah.
Right. Great example. Also, though, where I live north of Diversey, right by Sacramento. It's considered Avondale, which is a lower valuation area.
Oh, it's not Logan Square?
No, but that's the reason it's not Logan Square is because the Alderman Mel, I love you, Alderman Mel, and he was a great alderman, but he was so politically powerful, he pulled this section of Logan Square into his area so he could get the tax roll up, so he had more power in city council.
Well, good for
So
him.
they do these little tricks, right? My property really is and values in the Logan Square area. But if you look at Zestimate or even MLS
it's in
or
Avondale.
it would be considered Avondale. So there's another little nuance there that you have to look for. So great brokers only know this stuff. Your average guys, sorry.
Don't know.
So sad. Too bad.
They do not know.
No, they don't.
So what's the problem with assuming all homes are average?
Well, they don't talk about the upgrades. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. The condition, the low, the layout flow, as we talked about earlier, can be a big importance. Stairways are beautiful. Like on my house, remember the one I built in Irving Park neighborhood?
Yeah.
Beautiful flowing stairway, awesome open area. You get value for that stuff.
Exactly.
10-inch thick brick walls, although my terrible broker wasn't able to sell the value on those walls. We'll talk about who it is because they're supposed to be a number one rated broker. But, if you don't have a great broker that understands these things, they can't sell the value of the house. Right. You're going to end up with undervalued property too. So, 10-inch thick walls, why is that great? Well, the structure's never going to settle settle very little. You're going to have no sound issues, assuming your windows are good, of course. You're going to have very solid structure. It's warm in the winter. And it's cool in the summer. So those are huge values.
They couldn't sell it.
Insisted it was not a valuation consideration.
Oh.
And, it was
a
complicated sale.
Complicated case.
I couldn't throw the person out, although I would have been very happy to.
Right.
Anyway, come to good brokers who know how to sell value. So if you spend money on and by the way, some of your valuation assessments are wrong. Okay, your pink kitchen of what's the high-end kitchens? Wolf? Or what's the other really Viking? If you had it dyed pink,
you got problems.
And your custom pink tile, guess what? It's $50,000 worth of waste because nobody's buying your pink kitchen, right?
No one. Yeah, when you're doing any kind of, we talked about renovation earlier. I mean, if you plan on dying there, that's fine, right?
Just
and keeping your pink kitchen.
Yeah.
But
don't expect to get value out of it.
Expect the next person to love pink kitchen.
And frankly, just understand somebody's tearing the thing out.
Right.
And it goes the same with highways that are homes that are near a highway, for instance.
Right.
They're near a train.
The suburbs, they built all those walls.
Yeah, but not in Chicago. There's guys building right along Avondale, and the train's right there.
Right.
Or the highway.
Right.
And I'm a block and a half, 2 blocks from the expressway. You can't hear it. most nights. It's
Right.
very, very quiet. But right next to it,
I
you're not
can't-
getting away from
can't
it.
imagine
You're not going to get a family in there typically.
Do you remember
or
when
you're
we were
gonna be living
little and
inside.
people would say, if you lived by the train in Wrigleyville, you didn't hear it? I'm like,
Well, people would always say that. I go next to the L. It's like,
and you're shaking in your bed.
it's so
Everything's
horrible.
shaking.
Yeah, no, thank
And they're
you.
like, no, I don't hear the train. I'm like, well, that's weird because there's 7 lines that run
Yes.
through there. Okay.
Not only do you hear it, but you see the horror on the
Right,
people's
and
face on the
your
train.
lamp is shaking.
As they're going to
everything's
work,
shaking.
they're like, this is my son. I can see just right now him in the train in the morning, drooling. It's not going to be a pretty picture.
Right. No, not at all. So,
So yeah, you could end up with 40 grand less because of one of these things, and then you build a kitchen nobody wants or a bathroom.
Right.
You see those bathrooms with the hideous tile. Now wallpaper is one thing. Listen, I was just pulling up some tile because I have an issue in my Airbnb. Pulling that tile out is no joke.
no.
Now I had serious concrete tile and stuff like that. It was a lot of work. I got 4 tiles out in like 2 hours. It was brutal.
That's a
so
lot.
anyway, it costs money.
Yeah.
So don't screw it up with pink tile that nobody's going to want.
No. And
Unless
so when you
you're
look
willing
at,
to pay for it.
Right.
I mean, ultimately, that's the question.
and then you look at the automated valuation models are blind. There's no emotion driven price where you said,
right.
like, people fall in love with your house for the upgrades, what you've done,
Or the
open
perfect backyard, right?
The perfect backyard, the open
As
concept.
a swing set, and
Swing set.
Billy and Susie are the perfect age for the swing set, right? Oh,
Be
we have to have
careful
this.
if you plan on taking that swing set.
Yeah, it could come
That
down.
could come down to the swing set. Be willing to part with the swing set.
You get charged for it, though, right?
Right, you can,
Right.
but like if that's like, again, I say this, if you want a light fixture and it's been in your family for
Yeah.
100 years,
You better
before
take
you
it down.
put your house on the market, change that
Yeah.
light fixture out.
Yeah. And
'Cause-
probably nobody's going to like it anyway. But take it out. Otherwise, anything affixed to the house,
It goes with the house.
if it's your favorite faucet,
Take it out.
swap it out. Go to Home Depot, swap one out.
Exactly.
right?
I saw one thing fall apart because someone fell in love with the chandelier.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
really? And the person wouldn't part with their chandelier?
No, because it was in the
It
family.
was Grandma Nanny's.
Grandma Nanny's wouldn't part with
Had to
it,
have that-
so it fell apart. All fell apart.
Yeah. Well, I see stuff like that too, like
Like anything
fireplace
you want,
equipment and stuff like
right.
that you want.
Get rid of
and-
the shit.
yeah.
Take it out. All righty.
All right, case studies. Let's give them some case studies on great examples. So the undervalued gem, we're going to call this one.
Okay.
So Zestimate, Zillow's estimator, comes in at 420.
Right.
But it appraised with a professional appraiser for 500,
Mm-hmm.
but it ultimately sold for 510 in 5 days, Stephanie.
Right.
Why?
Well, I think the really big issue is the automated valuation model ignored the upgrades to the kitchen and the bath. Also, probably ignored the demand for that certain area because it sold in 5 days.
Yeah.
Over asking. So
Right.
where I'm looking at this,
Well, it also ignored the $70,000 kitchen and bathroom.
right,
upgrades.
and also it right here, this appraiser might have been spot on. They can't take into evaluation the demand either. But
Yeah, demand's a crazy thing, and personal desire. Somebody who has a ton of money wants something, they'll
Right.
overpay.
well, this tells me there was multiple offers on it and went for over asking.
Sure.
So,
Right.
you
what
know-
you mean the 510? In fact,
Yeah.
it's sold for, yeah.
Yeah.
So the price, yeah, exactly. So
Right,
but
and
it
then-
could be just a unique situation.
It could be, but that's what I've been seeing. Like there's been, my clients been on like 4 houses and there's been 19 offers on it, each house.
Now let's take a scenario where we have a busy missed street. Like I know a guy who's building a brand new place right on Avondale between Kedzie and Sacramento. It's right on the expressway. And he's going to build this crazy place.
Okay.
So this is kind of what I see as his future.
So if you
So his
so if you look
estimate's
at it's his
coming in at
estimate
610.
and it sold for
It's sold for
545.
545. Now, why would that happen?
Well, because you're also the house backs up to traffic, didn't take in the sound, the automated valuation model didn't take in the sound, the traffic. That's also like, say you're on Fullerton or a busy street in Chicago, or anywhere around the country. If you're on the busy street or on Harlem, and you can't even pull in your driveway without risking your life.
Yeah, yeah.
So then
know
you
what?
pull in.
What's that?
and
Central
then-
Avenue.
And how do you back out?
Central Avenue, north of, I think it's Montrose.
It's crazy.
It's like on that street. People have driveways. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, how would you pull in there?
Well, especially during traffic.
Right.
It's crazy. So, and by the way, that's a good point. When you're buying a place, you should go there, especially if it's something like that.
It's on a busy
The
street.
broker will take you there at
3 o'clock in the
3 in the
afternoon
afternoon when nothing's going on.
Right.
You're like, oh, this isn't so bad. Then at 5 o'clock, there's no way you're
It's
getting
like
in or
the
out.
Indianapolis Freeway,
Right.
and then you're like done.
So then let's talk about the rural decline. So Zestimate comes in at 350.
And when we're talking rural, we're talking rural
We'll
areas.
explain in a second here.
Yeah.
Zestimate comes in at 350. Appraisal comes in at 295.
Right.
Why? Well, because the average valuation model uses sales comps in a shrinking market with rising insurance costs. So it's in the rural markets, there may be very few sales. So they have to go back many, many years.
Right.
And they may have to expand from 1 mile to 3 miles to 5 miles, et cetera, and keep going. So not only they expand the range, but they also expand the time.
Exactly.
So you end up with an estimate that's just not reality, and you may miss stuff. So again, Zestimates, those types of tools, not just estimate, are good for general assessment. We're going to talk about that in a second.
And, give you an idea
Right.
of what the market is. But until you work with the licensed broker, you're not going to know the nitty gritty ins and outs. And maybe, like you said, in the rural area, there was only one sale.
Right.
So we'll tell you what the
literally be
one
that.
sale was
Right.
and what it sold for, and that's
And
it.
whenever I do that, so we also do broker opinion of value. So I'm a commercial broker. I'm qualified to do an analysis for buyers to figure out what the valuation is.
Right.
We do multiple different valuation strategies. We do income and expense approach. We do replacement value, and we do just straight 1-for-1 square footage
Right.
valuations. And then so we'll do something similar. It's sort of like a CMA, but it's more detailed.
And that's more for what the commercial space is looking for.
No, it's used for residential too, but the residential brokers aren't familiar with it. They're usually not qualified to do it, so they don't do it and they don't understand it. I do a lot of broker opinions of value, and so as we do the show, we'll explain to them
get into that.
what they could do. I mean, so it's very good for doing tax records, doing
Tax
tax
appeals.
appraisals. So when your taxes go up, get a broker opinion of value. They're usually less expensive than a typical appraisal, and they can be done much quicker typically. So you can get them quick, and they're very accurate.
Yeah, and we're going to do a show on how to do a tax appeal without giving half of your what
Yeah.
you get back to a
To
lawyer or
yeah,
another company.
for sure.
For sure.
So what actually sets value? How do people establish value? What are some of the tools they're using typically?
So what we use a lot is a comparative market analysis, which the agent creates a report on current, pending, what's sold, expired listings, and adjusts the square footage and condition based on, like we were saying, is it an open floor concept? Did it sell? Is it not? Does it have a garage? Does it
you're
not?
talking about upgrades.
Right. So
Yeah.
we go through when you're doing the comparative market analysis. Sometimes, like when you have a frame house and you're comparing it against brick houses or things like that, like you have to take that in consideration. But if that's all that's sold in the neighborhood, you kind of have to explain that to your client. You're evaluating against brick houses, you're a frame house. They have a garage, you don't.
Right.
Things like that, because all the sellers really see is what's sold in the neighborhood. They don't think anything different about, well, that house sold
Yeah,
down
they're
the
not
street.
analyzing it unless you have a good broker who's
Right.
helping them think that way.
Right.
But yeah, typically not. I mean, again, back to that situation. It's in the South Shore neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you look 1-for-1, you wouldn't. You actually would. This is the reverse story, really. If you look 1-for-1 in that neighborhood, there's a lot of crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of huge values. There's challenges that way, and so that building selling at $675, the one I told you about, the comparable, that's way out of the market.
Is it?
His estimate would have been way below. I'm sure the Zillow estimate, the CMA would be below, except if you pulled just a generic CMA. So understand, in the comparative market analysis, CMA, which a lot of residential brokers have access to through their multiple listing service, there are fields in there where you can add value to it
Exactly.
or subtract value from it.
Right.
So if there's no garage,
You would subtract
you
that.
subtract
Yeah.
because the CMA won't do that naturally.
I mean, the Zillow estimate.
No, CMA.
Oh, you have to do it manually. Yes.
If it's missing some critical piece,
Yes.
you have to subtract it
Yep.
because the CMA will miss it usually. And the Zestimate will miss it too, most likely.
Well-
Because they're doing average, right?
Exactly.
They're not necessarily considering, oh, they have one-to-one garages.
Right.
Right.
Or if they have a parking space and they don't
Extra.
have a garage,
An
they'll
extra-
say that.
Or, yeah, an
So-
external parking space.
So you
instead
have
of
to
an
kind of
internal.
go, oh, well, yeah, they do have a parking space,
Right.
but it's not a garage. I think with the South Shore neighborhood, thinking about it with the Obama Library, I think that's kind of set that area a little bit askewed because of the fact the Obama Library is coming and people are foreshadowing what things are going to be worth versus what they're actually worth.
Well, yeah, but that's
Right. No,
I-
I'm just
I get
saying,
you.
like, gives you look at things, you know.
no.
that's-
This one isn't. It's too far away.
it's too far away from
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, because they still have issues. They're going to build up that neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood. They just got to build it,
it is
up
like
and
an
get
old.
some more
It's
development
like a
over
Logan
there.
Square used
Yeah,
to be.
it is.
It is.
I love the train rolls through there too.
Yeah,
I can't remember the street it goes on.
I think it's South Shore, right?
No, South Shore is the main street. It's like Michigan Avenue.
No,
Or, I'm sorry, it's Lakeshore
South Shore
Drive.
train runs through.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
The South Shore line. But it's the street that it runs down is on the street level, so it's really cool.
It's a neat
Aside from
area.
the fact you could be run over by a train.
And plus, you're by South Shore Park and Jackson
no,
Park.
it's
and
called
they-
Rainbow Park, and it is amazing.
Well,
Rainbow Park is the most unbelievable park. I walked through the whole thing when I got the listing to check it out, and it's huge. They have like handball courts. They have beautiful beaches. They have
Wow.
great. Oh, it's amazing. I'm not kidding you. They have better features than Lincoln Park in many cases.
That's
I'm not
amazing.
kidding you. It's all modern.
and Jackson Park has
beautiful.
a golf course.
Yeah, Jackson Park has a golf course right down there. I mean, that neighborhood's ready to explode.
Yeah.
When we really, I kind of think of that area as a sleeper relative to the West Loop.
Right.
Right? The West Loop is sitting there. Everyone's like, oh, it's a dog. There's, everyone could go South Loop now or to the north or northwest to Logan
Yeah.
Square. But now, obviously, that West
South
Loop
Shore
really
is
blew up.
really going to, and West Loop blew up. So
Yeah.
it's all
I see it
about
coming.
like looking at things from, sometimes when you look at a thing that you're buying too, remember if you're looking at it from the Obama Library situation, they might be projecting on future values too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people
And-
might
and-
be skewed by that.
And if I'm your broker, we're not buying for the future.
No.
Who knows? You're buying for today.
Right.
There may be a little premium you're willing to pay,
Right.
and it does depend on the market. There are a lot of people that can be tricked into that. That's really what you're buying against.
Right.
Is the ability of your competitors to be wooed in that direction.
Exactly.
But in commercial, it's the here and now. It's not.
Right. And I
the
think
future.
in residential too is because what happened 2 years ago is not what's happening now.
Right.
And so if you want to buy to invest over there, that's great. But buy at today's prices, not what's going to be in 5 years.
And so let's talk about appraisals. So these are where licensed appraisers come in, and they're ordered by lenders typically, right?
Yep.
Lenders require an appraisal, which, again, broker opinion of value is one, appraisal is another.
Right.
But whatever your bank requires, you need to do. Done by licensed professionals, including walkthroughs, so they'll be much more hands-on.
A depth. Yeah, for sure.
Depending on the level you want. A comp adjustment, as we talked about before, for the nice build out, the extra parking space inside, whatever the case is.
Right.
Standard valuation formulas, and they're actually required for financing. So
Yeah, they have
Gotta
to
get
have
those
those in order to do it. And, appraisals can come back high and they can come back low. So
right.
that we talked about that before. So the private listing network is another avenue that we use for comparisons in the residential market. This is stuff that hasn't hit the consumer market yet. It's still on the private listing. It's between brokers, and a lot of things now are being sold without even getting to the public and public sites.
Yeah, a lot of people like competition and they want to see
Right.
what happens in the market. But some buyers will come in and they'll buy, sight unseen, or they
Right.
just want to tear it down or something like that. Now, in commercial real estate, we don't have like a private listing network like MRED does, the multiple listing service, MLS, or Midwest Regional. I forget what MRED stands for, but essentially Regional Midwest Listing, which is
Yeah.
basically the listing MLS for the Midwest.
Right.
They have a specific section that's reserved for these private listings.
Exactly.
In commercial, it's kind of word of mouth. Now, a lot of commercial real estate is sold word of mouth. A lot of it's done off market, we call it. So, like Jameson Commercial is known to be the largest off market real estate company. So, lots of developers come to us because we get the deals before they go to the market. We give a big period. So, I'll try and do 90 days off market with my buyer or
Right.
seller before I list it on the LoopNet, CoStar, or even the MLS. But companies like CBRE, Marcus Millichap, some of the bigger outfits, they double side all their deals. So they may never go on the market. You won't see them on CoStar. You won't see them on LoopNet. And a lot of properties, the seller doesn't want them out there.
So they're selling it broker to broker.
No, it could be within one broker.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
CBRE is selling it within their own family.
Okay.
Now, in some cases, you're right. There are two brokers, but they both work for CBRE.
Right.
CBRE.
Yeah.
And I think that's becoming a trend now in the residential real estate.
Absolutely.
You see that happening at
I see that at Compass, where we have our private exclusive, where it's just Compass agents, and now at property agents can see it, and we can see theirs. And that's just within Compass. That's no one else can see it.
Yeah, that's interesting because I went to look at Compass working over there. They have a small commercial division. I wanted to kind of help build it out, but it didn't work out. But anyway, I saw their computer system, and I love technology. I'm a technologist from my previous career. I love it. It's a great system. And you're telling me that their system is almost like a filter from the multiple listing service. They get a feed, which is an API integration, it's called, which then feeds that information into their system.
Exactly.
And then it configures it in their model. And then they've merged that, it sounds like, with their private exclusive listings.
Exactly.
That's very cool. So,
and so
private
when
exclusive
you
aren't even on the multiple listing service.
So when you set up a search for somebody who's looking to buy, you put in all their parameters, you put in the areas they're looking for, and then it will send them an email immediately, not just even like, there's no delay. So it sends immediately an email, hey, there's another listing, and it could be a private exclusive, it could be a P&L, it could be on the MLS, but it goes directly into the feed instantly.
Oh, interesting. And you guys also have one other thing coming soon.
Yes.
At Compass. When I say you guys, I'm
Yeah.
referring to Compass, where she's...
We have
Or
coming
managing
soon,
broker.
which tells you we do it two ways. You could put it on our coming soon network, or there's also where brokers will send out email, a citywide email, and say, hey, I have a listing coming in Logan Square. It's going to be here. It's going to be there, whatever. I just saw one in Roscoe Village that was coming soon. They just put it on the private exclusive, and that sold before it ever went to market. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's,
You need all the tips and
Yeah.
tricks to find these things. Yeah.
You know, when you're looking at Zillow or Homes.com or any of those other, they're great. They're great to give you an idea, but they don't have everything.
Well, that's good segue into our next segment here.
Right.
So when can automated valuation models help? So they're great for portfolio valuations.
Right.
So that's done a lot in commercial, because a portfolio really isn't, you'll find maybe some residential brokers get lucky and they get a portfolio, but because they're all residentials, right?
Right.
Somebody bought 5 homes and they're now selling them as a portfolio.
Right.
In my business, a lot of multifamily owners will have 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 buildings.
Right.
So if you want to look at a broad estimate of your overall portfolio, good way to go at a high level. Macro level neighborhood trend tracking, I think,
Yeah.
is a great way too. So what's happening over the past 3 to 5 years in South Shore, right? As we were
Right.
just talking about, might be a great idea to see what the trend is. Or you know what? If you want to see this live action role play, you look at Pilsen.
Yes.
So Pilsen over the past 5 years has exploded, right?
Totally
So if you look at what it was valued at to where it is, you would have seen the trend happening.
Exactly.
You can probably still see it right now, probably.
It's still
And I bet Logan Square too.
Logan Square,
has just
Little
been
Village
exploding.
is now exploding because Pilsen has hit some, milestones. So that you could see the trend and you could see, okay, it's a good time to get in. It's not.
Yeah. And then
Things to
rough
avoid.
price modeling. When you're early in the process, you're just trying to get an idea of what neighborhood you might want to go to.
Right.
AVMs are very good for that. Automated valuation models.
What
Using
do you
too many
avoid-
acronyms.
With the automation evaluation model.
Well, if you're in a legal situation, it's not going to come up with an accurate valuation. Like a divorce or something like that. And you got to move the house quickly because you want whoever that person is out of your hair. You're not going to want to dwell around.
You don't want to cohabitate.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to deal with trying to get this valuation, or
You don't want to
or
deal
the
with the
valuation
fact
may
that
be
you
too
might
high or too low.
Be soon going to jail before something.
Jail. I don't know what kind of divorce you had. Did Mike do prison time?
You don't want to be stuck in the same house
No.
with that person.
No, it gets a little sticky. And not in a good way. All right, the listing price decisions. Avoid the automated valuation models when you're looking at the listing price. You want to get more specific, CMA oriented, more detailed, taking into the specific nuances of the model. Are you next to a highway? Those types of things. And then refinancing your tax appeals. Okay,
Right.
so you're going to want to get very detailed in why your house is super low value. Because when you're doing a refinance, when you're doing refinance, you want to jack it up, right?
Right.
And a tax appeal, you're going to jack it down.
Well, and I think people
It's like
don't
a
really
kangaroo
understand the
court
tax
situation.
appeal process. It's not like it's the home evaluation isn't exactly what your house is valued at. It's a different evaluating. You know what I mean? It's not. They don't use like, oh, your house is worth $500,000. It's a different model that they're using for the tax valuation.
Well, it's interesting because the Cook County assessor, I like this whole shift, but it's a good talking point here.
Okay.
So I can't remember 4 years ago, they brought in a new Cook County assessor because I couldn't stand the way they did
Is that
valuations.
you can do it automated now?
No, I'm not getting into that. So
Okay.
the new assessor came out of New York. In New York, when you look at the valuations, they're similar to the appraisals. In
Oh.
Chicago, it's ludicrous. When you look at your tax record, pull them up now, everyone. Go get your tax record and pull
Yes.
it up. Actually, they're better now. I shouldn't complain. Look at it 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if you have the records. Ridiculous valuations. Nowhere, and they're bad valuations because they're too low.
That's what I mean,
My
yeah.
house would be like, it's worth almost, 7 figures, and it's showing like $320,000
That's what I mean,
valuation.
yeah.
Yeah, because they had this terrible method. Terrible. Ridiculous method.
Well, and I think that's why it's in the news right now that everyone's being reassessed at the actual value, and they're having a fit about it.
Well, part of the problem is the greedy ass politicians, Brandon, are out there and they're trying to take all your cash so they could spend it all on God knows what, but nothing you're going to get, that's for sure.
Right.
So you need to make sure you don't give them
We
your
didn't
money.
mean that, Brandon.
No, I did.
No.
And
No, we
so anyway, and all you aldermen who want all this money to throw out the window. So anyway, the point is, the method is solid. The adjustment, we're in a tough period right now.
Right.
Because we're adjusting from this ridiculous low model, which, by the way, do you know why the model was ridiculously low? Lawyers. Lawyers.
Oh, Jesus. Where did we go wrong here? What happened
No,
to our...
listen.
We're supposed
you don't
to stick
understand
to
it.
the script.
Well, no, I'm trying to explain this new model here. No, this is a known entity. The reason they use this model is because it was so mischaracterized. You always had to hire a tax appeal attorney to get your value up, or a
down.
lawyer.
It was always you were trying to get your value even down
No,
farther.
No. They undervalued your property so that, I'm talking about for the valuation of your property. When you need to bring
when you're
it up,
trying to, but when you're trying to appeal it, you want to get it down too.
right, but it was wacky and they had different calculations. But anyway, the whole idea was it was so complex, nobody could figure it out.
Exactly.
Have you ever looked at your tax records?
It's ridiculous.
The 12 different items you're getting charged
Right.
for, a multiplier of 0.073% of 75,000 square feet of the neighboring school system, or the public waste system. So anyway, they're trying to do away with that, thank heavens. But we're stuck in this period now where they're bringing the valuation up so high, but they're not adjusting the tax assessment of all these 12 items appropriately. So it's like you're in the middle, and the politicians want to keep it high, but they're going to price everyone out of the whole city.
Oh,
it's
my
horrible.
God, yeah. It's horrible.
I mean, they've raised ours $5,000 in the past recent increase.
That's why I moved out of this
and
city.
they're going to raise them again. They
course
just
they
said
are.
they're going to raise them again. It's insane. They're pricing people out, and they say that they're here for the people. It's
They're
just
not.
they are not. And wake up to who you're voting for, please.
And then also, not
It's
to
just
go on
insane.
a political tangent,
Well,
but
just vote.
you look at what the city's school system is $1 billion in debt. The city's $1 billion in debt.
No,
So where
it's
is all the
ridiculous.
money going?
Sorry to go on a tangent, but
All
this
right,
is
we're done.
ridiculous. All right, so
All right.
and
Back to the script.
refinancing and tax appeals are the bottom line there. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. So
Did you?
There's a compass. They're a compass. They're not a GPS. That's the best way to look at the
Right.
automated valuation
But
models.
Compass is your GPS.
No, Sotheby's is.
No.
Use them to get oriented, not to land the plane, right? You want to
Right.
be in the general vicinity, but you don't want the precision. That's what a broker opinion of value will be.
Right. And also, I think one of the good things I tell my clients to do, take the listings I send you based on your criteria and compare it to what Zillow's saying about the same listings. So you could see what I'm talking about.
That's a great one for one.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, actually. Very good idea.
What? It's a good idea.
She has a few.
Yeah, few.
All right,
Selling.
action steps. What are we doing here? So we want you to call to action, right?
Yeah.
We want you guys to have a call to action every podcast. So here they are. Selling. Request CMAs from at least 2 agents, right?
Right.
You don't want just one agent, unless, of course, it's us. Because you know
it's
you're
me,
going to get
yeah.
the best.
But no, if you're looking at selling your house, I think people interview agents. What are you interviewing them? What are they doing during
they
this
going to
interview?
do?
Like, you need to set the parameters. You need to, ask them about the CMAs. You need to ask them what their
PLN,
opinion,
private listing network.
what their
What
opinion.
internal systems they have.
What is the pre-listing appraisal? Is that worth it? Do they suggest you do it?
Right.
Asking and off market, is there anything that they're not seeing in the market that we're seeing that we could bring to the table to say, hey, this is coming soon, so know.
Absolutely. What about buying?
Don't rely on the Zillow estimated offer. Sorry, Zillow.
Well, you know why? You know why they're saying that though?
I just think
Because they're low.
they're
usually
low or they're way too high. They're
I've not
taking,
seen high. I've
Well,
never seen high.
I've seen high when
personally.
it takes into consideration that you're on a busy street or you're in a subdivision of an area that isn't exactly the area you want to be in, but it's in the general vicinity of the area you want to be in. So
Basically, they're automated valuation
Right.
model. It's a algorithm.
it's an algorithm.
So, algorithms are great for general. They're not great for perfect.
the
What
best
else?
way is to really get the sold comps in the area.
Yeah.
And then look at
I
it.
agree. That's usually where I go to. My go-to
Right.
is sold comps.
Yep.
However, that isn't always the case, right? Because in a hot market, like back in 2020, 2022,
Right.
you looked at the sold packet and it was like, right? It's not looking good. But all of a sudden the market heats up and what happens?
Right. And then the
Like
sold
today,
pack is way
What's
higher.
the market like for residential for you?
There's at least 19 offers on every property.
What? 19.
That was
You
my
said-
last one.
What?
Yeah, the last
19
one.
offers.
19 offers.
I don't know if I believe her.
I'm
She's
telling
an
you.
exaggerator.
I'm not an exaggerator. And
exagitron.
then the biggest trend in the residential is highest and best by 5 o'clock on Sunday,
Really?
Monday, Tuesday. Yeah.
Wow.
And they give you no information of where you're leaning, what you're doing. And then they throw in the caveat. If it doesn't appraise out at what you offered,
You offer, right. Good
you
luck.
need to sign an appraisal gap.
Appraisal what?
Gap.
Gap. It's coming out of your pocket.
Yep.
Get ready. And by the way, people get caught into that situation too.
And they get all emotional
They
about
get emotional
nothing.
tied into this. I love that swing set. Well, you know what? Go to Menards and buy another one or wherever you have to
Well,
go.
first of all,
You
why would you ever go underwater?
Or
Underwater.
the chandelier.
The chandelier.
The chandelier. What happened with you? I heard there's a chandelier story here.
I told you the chandelier story.
You didn't tell them?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was selling my mom and dad's really good friends' huge house in Edgewater. It's awesome. It was an awesome house. But they forgot to take down the chandelier. And in the
When
dining
they were
room,
showing it.
No, before we listed it. When we were showing it, I looked up and the chandelier was still there. And this was during open house. We had someone super interested, but it was contingent on the chandelier staying. And I was like, I know this is not going to go well. So I called up the sellers. They're like, oh no, that's been in our family for like 300 years. It comes from Ireland. It's whatever.
Really?
And I'm like,
300 years?
whatever. I'm like, you're not going to be able to put it in your new apartment.
Exaginator.
Right. So it's been it came from Ireland. It's been
Case
in it
and
forever.
point. Did they dance the jig around it?
So
And back when
anyway, we lost the deal on
The
it.
leprechauns
It went away.
were magically running
Yes.
around it. So you didn't want to sell it with the leprechauns.
It didn't happen.
So it didn't happen.
And
I don't blame them. I want the leprechaun
offered to
chandelier
buy
too.
a new chandelier and put it up.
But the point is,
Take your stuff down.
Stephanie learned this. In commercial, we know
Right.
anything anchored to the walls is.
No, I know that.
I'm telling the audience.
Oh,
Anything anchored to the walls is part of the commercial real estate. It's
it's
going
part
to
of
go
the residential too.
in. Okay, and the residential. So sinks, anything you don't want staying with the house.
Blinds is another one that people
Yeah.
don't think about.
Yeah, blinds.
If you fell in love with your blinds and you want to take them with you,
Toilet. You get that toilet seat that fits just perfect.
It's part of it.
It's got to be formed to your butt.
Right. It's got the heater on it. It's got
No, those are
whatever.
more
It talks
the
to you,
wooden-
massages
the
you,
wooden toilet
whatever.
seats, but
But the blinds too. If you're set on taking these blinds because they fit perfectly in your new house, go to Home Depot.
call
Get
Dave
some blinds.
Murray.
He won't come on the podcast. We're not going to call Dave Murray.
He'll come on the podcast.
No, no Dave Murray.
Is a
no.
shout out to Dave.
Dave. We're
He hasn't
looking for you.
refused. He's just nervous. We'll get him on
Why?
here. I'm not Dave's
Dave's a
little guy on the shoulder.
wackadoodle. We don't want him on right now. He's off the charts anyway. Is he?
Okay, I don't know. So
Yes.
curtains, yes. Anything. Well,
No, not
No, no.
curtains. Not curtains. It goes for blinds only.
blinds.
Because blinds
they're
are attached
fixed.
to the window.
That's
So-
a good question, to tell you the truth. And the exaggerator, we have to verify. Because the exaggerator says things.
You know what? Stop. So,
We'll check into that.
no, it is the blinds. I know that for sure.
No, blinds for sure. Just
The
it's,
curtains, no, because you
curtains.
could take the curtains down. The curtain rod has to stay, though.
So what else? So not only the comp packets, but you want to inquire about the quiet listings that the firm has. It sounds like
Right.
Compass has a huge network there. I
We
don't know
do.
about Sotheby's. I'll have to find out. But anyway, refinancing or legal. So again, you don't want to use these. Use a professional appraisal,
No.
non-automated valuation model system here, or a broker opinion of value might work for refinancing or legal. If your lender will allow it, you have to ask.
Most lenders want their own appraisal done for refinancing, even.
Yeah, they may have their own appraiser.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, so what tool are we giving them today? It's a
What
pretty cool
tool?
tool, actually. We're looking at valuation comparison model we created. So it has Zestimate we're giving you an example of what each of these systems uses
Right.
and how they adjust the estimate. So we have Zestimate, which is Zillow, Homes.com, which is basically CoStar and LoopNet now, MLS, comparative market analysis.
Right.
So they're MLS, CMA, the private listing network, and then commercial broker network,
Right.
which is basically usually CoStar.
So we'll show the differences in the methods, accuracy, and the in use in every
use
case.
case. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's move on to the listener Q&A. So Stephanie, my
Yes.
estimate jumped 60,000 1 week. Why?
So, it could be a recent comp or a data correction where
Yeah.
the Zillow estimate or the automated evaluation model doesn't take into account it correctly, or there's a glitch.
No, I'll tell you. So I've run into this a lot at CoStar. Hi, my lovely CoStar friends. So I love you guys, but you charge way too much and you don't update. No,
We're in a
here's what
role of
happens.
insulting people today, just for the record.
Here's what happens. They get information wrong. I forget what the reasons are, but I think there's so many transactions they can't possibly do it
Right.
correct. So I'll run into a situation, and you're looking at this listing, you're like, "What? This doesn't make any sense."
Right.
If you don't look closely at even a CMA, you have to go through, and if there's 10 comparative market analysis properties,
Right.
some of them don't belong in there. Maybe
You have
so-
to make sure that they're
Yeah.
apples to apples.
apples to apples, and in the CoStar comparisons, the commercial ones, I mean, there's crazy stuff that takes it way off the charts. So as your broker really needs to go through this, but you should always double check your broker.
Absolutely.
We're not infallible. We make mistakes, so it's good
Exactly.
to be double checking our work too.
Or just question what they put in
Right.
there. Like, why did you put this in? What? How does this make
and
sense?
the recent comp does come up. So
Yeah.
if you're looking at 2020 to 2022, and then all of a sudden somebody sold something in 2025, because not a lot of transactions, for instance, have been going on in the South Loop. All of a sudden, one goes through for current day market value at $35 to $40 a square foot when it was 25 back in 2022.
Right.
It skews the whole thing. And you're like, wait, it may be skewing the whole commercial appraisal, might be skewing everything down
Exactly.
because there were 8 of the 9 were back in 2022. So you got to look at just very carefully.
Yeah.
All right. So now, how do I get a private listing network access, Stephanie?
You don't. No,
don't.
you work with the broker. You have to work with the real estate agent, broker,
Like Compass,
App Properties.
Sotheby's,
and that's also you get
because they
access.
participate, right?
Right, and you get access to Coming Soon. You get access at Compass to our private network, exclusive network.
Private exclusive.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that doesn't hit the open market and may never hit the open market right now, especially.
So as a call to action for our podcast to make it better, we want to ask you guys to DM us your Zestimate versus your sales story. Good, bad, and the ugly. Let us know. You don't
What does DM mean?
direct message.
How do they do that?
Stonehenge. What?
How do they do that?
Instagram.
Yes, John. How do they do
Snapchat,
that?
Facebook. You can use direct. You can list.
This is the analytical one that has no idea what he's talking about.
I know what direct
DM
message
us
is.
because that's what artificial intelligence told him to say.
No, direct messaging. You never direct messaging?
We would like you to put it on our chat
We'd
box
like
on
you
the
to send
website.
us a note in the U.S. Postal Service.
No,
with
we want to
Stephanie's
put it.
model.
You want to put it in the chat on the website. You're such a dork. Or you could put it on Instagram.
Just
too.
DM us, for God's sakes. I'll bring
Oh
Stephanie
yeah,
up
he's
to
going to say
speed.
DM. So when you DM us,
I'm
gonna-
down.
He's
I was
gonna,
born to be down,
he
Stephanie.
has no idea where it goes. So let's have John find the DM. Okay, go ahead.
I'm born to be down. That's where I'm going. All right, takeaways. Your automated valuation model. They're useful, but they're not reliable for final pricing, right?
Right.
Professionals use layered tools like CMAs, comparative market analysis, appraisals, broker opinions of value,
Right.
private listing network insights, right?
Exactly.
In commercial, private listing networks define value, so do relationships. So it's how your broker can connect you into the right buyers, right?
Exactly.
Or sellers. So
Or sellers.
huge valuation there. So what are our freebies?
You tell me.
We have an AVM versus CMA worksheet. So as we described earlier, that's going to come away with you. We'd like your valuation table. We have a valuation table for you as well.
Right.
And basically understand that Zillow gives you a number, but your agent gives you the story.
What's happening in the neighborhood? That's the biggest thing that you need to take away from this whole thing is we're going to tell you the story of what's happening, and
We should be.
Exactly.
Right?
And I
your
think
broker should be. Make sure you interview them properly.
Also, like when you get all excited and you're get in love with the house because you like the bay windows, which is great. But I had a client that was like, everyone was going up, up, up. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, we need to put a pause here. You do realize, like, I want you to call the lender and find out what your payment's going to be.
Good for you. That's good broker tip right there. Stopping you in the madness.
Go call your and she's like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was going to be that much.
And you have to come out of pocket with it. And she may have written and create a binding agreement that she now has to come $15,000 out of her pocket.
Right. So we took a pause and they walked away, which was the right thing to do.
Don't get wrapped up in the bidding. So Dean and I, your brother, were at a
Jesus. Where?
We were at a auction over the weekend, and there's people in there bidding on these things, and they're just going, and they're bidding and bidding and bidding, and you're watching them overbid.
What are you bidding on?
Well, everything. It was this guy had this doctor who passed away, a dentist. He had this big farm. He had, the guy had racks of clothing.
For farm stuff. Okay.
No, hunting equipment, farm equipment, 4-wheelers, quad runners, all sorts of equipment, backhoes. So there was probably $500,000. I got insane amount of stuff for $5. But on the flip side, people can overbid too.
So is it a live auction?
Yeah, your live auction. There's she sold. Mike raised his hand. No, he's scratching my neck. No, you bid. Sorry, your number's 130. You're in. So anyway, don't get caught up in the fury. Was my point, right?
And if the highest and best, and I think people are like, oh my God, and like, what would it take to win? I'm like, are you really winning?
Yeah, you're not winning, right? Yeah. So slow it down.
What goes up must come down.
Yeah.
So that's our takeaway for today.
Yeah.
DM John though. Let's see how that goes. Because he has never been on. He's never been on
podcast.
He's never.
Show me how podcast. And that's a DM.
He's never been on Facebook.
Use Instagram.
He's never been on Instagram.
Use Facebook. Use Snapchat.
Are we on Snapchat?
Oh, yeah. I was just on it yesterday.
No,
what's the other one, Mike?
We are not
Twitter.
We're not on
Twitter.
We're not.
No, I was on Snapchat.
We are not on Snapchat.
We'll get on Snapchat next session.
Instagram.
TikTok.
Twitter.
And Stephanie's phone number is 773.
Yeah.
Text her.
Text me.
I'll post it. I'm going to...
Go to the website and drop it in the blog so we can see it,
What's that called when you punk somebody and you put their name out on the internet?
That means John's death?
No, like they did for all the what's it called? There's a phrase to it.
The ones that were in
where
the
they
black
put people's
book?
names out there. Anyway, thank you for showing up for the podcast. We know that you learned something.
Yes.
On the valuation models. We're happy you're with us. Please DM us and get us some information on your stories and future podcasts that you want to do, you think are good for us, and guests that you want on board, all right? Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Ciao.